Welcome to this month's edition of What's New in QuestionPro CX.
So first of all, we have added a comment list widget. So this widget is specifically designed for open-ended questions. So if you have multiple open-ended questions in your survey, you can select the question and all the comments related to that question will appear in this widget. So each row represent one comment that is added. So the columns represent the color is for promoter, detractor, and neutral. Score is whatever NPS or CSAT, whatever you select. Response ID is the response ID of the respondent. Clicking on the response ID, you can see the detailed view of the response, and comments is nothing but the actual content. So this widget is available at survey level, so you can choose to add it in your dashboard. The next widget that we added is the ranking list widget. So this widget you can have rank based on the segments. So it will list all the segments and then the CSAT score or NPS score, whatever scoring model that you have chosen at the time of widget addition. It will list the score and the total number of responses that are contributing to that score. So it's a super powerful widget whenever you want to have a ranked view of the segments. The next thing that we did is we added some heat map widget enhancements. So as you can see that in the heat map earlier you could choose the scoring model, you could choose the question and then you could choose the segment. But now we have added additional chart metrics like product and close-ended questions. So those can also be chosen when you plot a heat map. So this is how a particular heat map would look like now. So let's say in this case the each of the columns represents the product and the row represents the question. So this view is super useful when you want to have customized heat maps that are not just based on segments. Then here is another representation. So here on both the columns and the rows there are questions that are selected. Then the next thing that we did is the distribution chart widget option. So in the distribution chart earlier you could just choose the questions or apply the filter, but now we have added additional options like you could select you could choose to delete some options according to your requirement. You could show the distribution in terms of the percent responses and percent respondents. The toggle is available here, and you can sort as well these columns in the form of frequency. So ascending or descending, it can be sorted. Then you can also keep the original order or you can also sort it alphabetically. So as you can see here, 4 option of sorting are available. Then the next thing that we did is we added a percentage on NPS categories. So earlier when you used to have an NPS, let's say a list widget, you could only see the count of the promoters, detractor or neutral respondents on hover. But there are a lot of use cases when you want to see a percentage view. So we have now added a percentage view. As you can see, when you hover in the tooltip, it will also show you the percentage. So this is applicable to all the NPS widgets. Then the next thing we introduced is a very powerful feature of having survey filters in all the segment level widgets. So as you can see here, along with the scoring model and filters, you could also have a survey level filter. So by default all surveys would be selected, but you can choose to delete some surveys according to your requirement. So this is available for all the segment level widgets like the trend widget, trend comparison widget, completion rate widget, completion trend widget, list widget, and custom variable widget. Then next is the weighted mean widget options. So here again we made some enhancements like let's say you have chosen a matrix type question but you are not interested in all the options. So in that case you could choose to delete the rows and the columns according to your requirement. This will also affect the mean calculation based on the options you have kept. So in this case, you can see that I have deleted one option, and earlier there were 5 options, now I have 4, and accordingly the mean has changed. Okay. Then dashboard visibility control. So we have introduced a toggle at dashboard level. It actually helps you in disabling the dashboard access to the manager portal users. So if you don't want a certain dashboard to be available for managers, then you can just go into the dashboard setting and disable this, and that dashboard would not be visible to the managers. Then the next thing that we did is the CX workspaces. So you know that everything in CX revolves around feedbacks, but we have renamed the feedbacks now to workspaces. So this is just a nomenclature change, just a branding exercise. So this will actually help in setting the context right in terms of the customer experience management, because feedbacks are essentially private workspaces. So everywhere in CX now you will see workspaces instead of feedback. Then we made some enhancements to push metrics. So earlier, whenever you wanted to send a report using push metrics instantly, it would by default send a weekly report. But if you want to send a customized date range for a report, that was not possible. But now we have introduced a calendar option where you can choose any date range that you want to send the report instantly. Then the next enhancement that we did is custom FTP port. So earlier, whenever you used to configure an FTP scheduler, by default it would take a default FTP port, that is 22. But if there are some customized ports being used by our clients, then in that case that was not possible. But now we have added an option wherein a custom port can also be provided. Then the next thing that we did is the response viewer revamp. So as you can see, this is how the response viewer looked earlier, which was very clumsy, had a lot of issues. So we have revamped this dashboard completely. This is how it looks now.
For the full list of what's new in QuestionPro CX, check out our release notes in our updates page.